Chapter 80. Laura glanced at the clock. 4:48 a.m. Turtles entering the woods would be much healthier without their shells. If they knew this, they could pull the vines inside to reach the eyes in the wind, where they would be safe. Stacy appeared quite satisfied with herself, like she had said something terribly profound. "Do you get me?" Laura glared at her. "No, actually, I have no idea what you've been talking about the last 20 minutes. Would you just kill me already?" "Why don't you want to live?" Laura was stunned. Stacy was actually beginning to talk directly to her rather than off in a tangential word jungle. She decided to tell Stacy the truth. It couldn't hurt, because nothing else seemed to be working. "I'm actually deep inside of a dream, Stacy. If we die here, I won't really die. I'll get back with my friends. They were trapped here. Now I have to get back to them before they get caught and sent back here." Stacy looked intently at her. She seemed to be considering Laura's dilemma. Perhaps Stacy was one of the few people who could actually believe the truth when told for the first time. Laura touched the girl's leg with her left foot. "You can help." "I've heard a lot of stories in here, and I have to tell you, that one sounds the craziest." Her body hitched and her face tightened as she tried containing bursts of laughter. Laura retracted her foot. This was one of the few moments in her life where she found herself enraged. A crazy girl had just called her crazy. A girl who had talked nothing but nonsense for 20 minutes, and before that had been completely mute and immobile, was now telling Laura that she was nuts. She scooted a few feet back. "Look, are you going to kill me or not?" "I don't listen to insanity." "I'm telling you the truth." "How do you know it's the truth? Because your mind told you so? The mind plays tricks, you know. It's done this to many people in here. You shouldn't always believe it." "You should take your own advice." Stacy froze. "Oh no," she thought. I shut her down. She moved closer and blew into the girl's face. No response, not even a blink. "Please, please, please come back, Stacy. I didn't mean what I said. Honest." Frozen like a lake, her outside hardened ice with flowing essence inside. "I misspoke. I didn't even know what I was saying. It came out all wrong. What I meant was that I can't stand hearing the truth sometimes." She chuckled nervously. "I get angry and defensive." Not a jitter from a finger, not a tremble of a lip, not a blink from an eye. Laura quickly kissed her again. Nothing. She had blown it. She had failed at saving Project X's subjects, trying everything she knew to help them. She still couldn't. Guilt sagged her head and shoulders. Tears smote her eyes. She recalled the priest's passage that he read from the Bible. The iniquity she had committed was having been a part of Project X. She felt stained by it now, never able to clean it from her past. If she survived, she would need to find a way of forgiving herself someday. Then the thought occurred to her that maybe the key to leaving this dream was forgiveness. How does one forgive oneself, though? It took time. She didn't have enough time. Laura began smacking her own head against the floor. beating herself for doing something so foolish as triggering the girl to leave to a faraway place inside again. Please wake up, Stacy. Please. She crinkled her face in a serious frown. I'll hurt myself unless you start talking. She smacked her head against the floor, harder, giving herself intense throbbing pain and cuts. Blood dripped down her cheeks and over the corners of her lips. She licked and tasted a salty, coppery taste. She realized she was as much a victim of Project X as were its subjects. Stacy's body remained rigid, but she did blink. Laura was a victim. She was lied to by Project X. Malik led her to believe it was cancer research. She had thought she was helping people. She didn't initially know the subjects were being held against their will, and now she was its prisoner. Intellectually, she knew all this before, but now she was connecting it emotionally. This was a world of difference. It defined forgiveness and healing. Her emotion of guilt connected with her understanding of being victimized, allowing her guilt to recede as the truth hurt came forth. Laura could be trapped here till the end of her days. They had all been hurt by Malik, not just the research subjects, but herself as well. As she embraced this, she cried harder for several minutes, but they were good tears, welcomed. When the wall is blank, it has skin that tears. Laura looked up. Yes, that makes sense. Stacy didn't speak. Laura hardly breathed. Then Stacy loosened her pose. And the flowers are falling so that the eyes cry. I can almost see it. Dust on the floor goes through walls before sunrise. Of course. Nails bite each other before you can stop them. Go on. Feet fall heavy on the ground. I understand. Do you? Yes. Stacy looked uncertain and tense, then relaxed and smiled. I thought you might. You're a bit crazy. Laura reluctantly nodded, biting her tongue to stop cruel words that wanted to be spat at Stacy.